Zazen, Zen from Zazen, is why people call Buddhism from Japan Zen, because it's short for Zazen. And all kinds of meditation have their own value, and particularly mindfulness meditation in the modern world has become so popular everywhere because it's not connected with religion. But people connect Zazen with Zen, and they think Zen is part of Buddhism, which is a religion. But I don't feel that it's a religion at all. Of course we have statues of Buddha, but to me the statue of Buddha is just a kind of symbol of a man many years ago who found out something about how to live. Not how to be a Buddhist, not how to wear a robe or how to burn incense, just simply how to live. I don't think the Buddha in India had statues or incense or robes or rakusus or tatami or anything. Just he was a person who spent his life trying to answer his one question. What is it about? How can I live? As people think of Zazen in many different ways, although it's only one kind of meditation, there are many kinds of ideas about Zazen. I learned Zazen from my teacher in Japan, and I sat Zazen every day for 40 years now. And listening to my teacher and sitting myself, I found that Zazen is not a religious practice, and it's not a meditation either. It's just a practice or a training. So you can do Zazen if you're a Buddhist or a Christian or a Hindu or not, or none. Because the secret of Zazen is in the physical posture. We usually think of meditation as something connected with mind or spirit. But Zazen is connected with mind, spirit and body. And it has a particular posture. The first thing that Dogen Zenji wrote about Zazen is it's not fixed. So it's not rigid. So it's not necessary to sit absolutely still without moving. And I know this is true because I can't do it. Because as we get older, our bodies change, so our posture changes. So if we sit every day, we need constantly to find little different changes in how we sit. Maybe our legs need to go in a different... I used to sit with my legs up in the lotus posture, which was very nice, but I don't now. I sit like this, and it's very comfortable. The most important thing is to have 1, 2, 3 points to make a solid base, like a tripod. The second most important thing is to be flexible about the sacrum. Because I learned that Zazen is balancing on a pole, like they do in the circus, on a rope, balancing in dance. It's the same balance. But in Zazen, we balance our body so that it's exactly over the middle of the sacrum. So during Zazen, we find slightly we're moving this way or that way. And without moving, you can't balance. It's impossible. And then our head is over our shoulders. Should again try to balance. If we do that, we allow our body to lengthen. And if we allow our spine to lengthen, then we allow the nervous system, which controls all of our muscles and organs, to function correctly. So Zazen is physical. At the same time, when we sit in Zazen regularly, every day, for some time, we learn how to keep our mind quiet, not so busy. As I said this morning, life is very stressful for everybody. Everything becomes faster with computers, smartphones, faster, faster, faster. And because everybody is more stressed, it becomes normal. And because it's normal, we don't notice. We don't notice the level of stress inside us. So, as I said this morning, to train our mind to be quieter, we can notice the stress. So Zazen is not meditation. It's not trying to be present. I think, for instance, mindfulness training, to be present, is very, very useful, because many people are not present. They're thinking about Facebook or email or SMS messages or something. So something like mindfulness training can help them come back to what they're doing, notice where they are. But Zazen is a little different because it's not a technique. Just sitting in the posture of Zazen, we allow our body to do the work. We don't try to do anything. We allow everything to happen. So we return to a simple state with less stress. And as I said this morning, quieter mind, and if our mind is quiet, we can find something to direct us, which is not thinking. So although I think mindfulness, which is so popular, is great, I think Zazen is something a little different. I don't know very much about other kinds of meditation because I only did Zazen. But to me, it's enough. But as I said this morning, and Dogen wrote, Zazen is only one way to become balanced. There are many ways, but maybe this is the simplest. And because it's simple, it's difficult for us to do. Looking at the wall, doing nothing, not speaking, not thinking, not walking, hardly moving. So we find that difficult because our lives are so busy. So I think if you can manage to practice every day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, even 5 minutes every day, you'll find some kind of result after a very quick time, maybe 5 or 6 years, 7 years. Because it's not a mental activity, it takes a long time. It takes a long time to train to teach yoga. It takes a long time to become a top athlete. People want to become expert in 2 weeks. But you can't become expert in 2 weeks. But if you practice Zazen for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, you start to become expert. In 10 years you can understand what you're doing. So I stop talking now. And if you have questions in your head, make some words. Even the question is stupid, it's most interesting. Little children ask stupid questions. They're very profound. For example, why did we have such a long lunch break? Well, okay, if you ask me that question, I didn't expect to have a long lunch break, and it's not such a wonderful thing to eat lots of food in the middle of the day if you're going to sit in the afternoon because you feel sleepy. So the best way to have a break in the middle of the day for a session is to have something light, soup or fruit or something like that. It's the best way, really. Thank you for asking that question.
What is the best time for sitting? In the morning to prepare for the whole day, or after the day?
I think it's not important when you do it, but it feels different. If you practice in the morning, first thing, your mind didn't start to function so well. So you can be calmer, more easily. Sometimes I wait and have breakfast first. If I woke up late, so then I think I'm hungry, I have breakfast, and then I practice after breakfast. Already I'm starting to think about the day. So if I can get up early and practice first thing, I find it's better. And then in the evening, sometimes we're very tired. So sometimes if I'm tired, I think I'm going to sit for 15 minutes. But after 10 minutes, I need to sleep. So sleep. So it doesn't matter when you practice, but it's easier to practice first thing in the morning, and then maybe a short time before last thing at night. But other times are fine. But as I said, life is busy, so it's difficult to make a routine. So we have to find a routine that works. Doesn't matter what the routine is, it must work for us. So maybe in the lunch hour, in a quiet room at work, might be the best time for somebody to practice. Or somebody else can practice every morning before they, when they wake up. So it's okay to, the most useful thing is to make a routine. Then you can do it every day. And not to try too hard to sit for a long time. If you say, I'm going to sit for half an hour every day, then maybe for 1 week you sit half an hour every day, and next week you think, oh, it's too much. So slowly to build it up is better. If it's possible to sit for a total of 1 hour every day, that's great, but very difficult. I don't work in full time, so I have time to sit, and I work at home, so I can sit at a time which is good for me. But if you have children, or if you're in a job with children, it's not so easy. So you have to find your own way. It's important to find our own way, not to find some charismatic teacher and then to try and follow their life. Oh, they must know, we must follow them. No, follow yourself. It's much more sensible. I hear a dog asking a question. Good. When we are children, mostly we are present. Then society trains us to be not present. But we can't become children again, but we can become simpler again. More important than Buddhist ritual, making robes, learning about Buddhist rules, reading Buddhist books, more important is to have a healthy life. Eat healthy food, take rest when you're tired, have enough sleep, and have exercise. It's much more important.
What you are thinking about some kind of teachers or masters? We mentioned this Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh.
Thich Nhat Hanh, yes.
Thich Nhat Hanh. I don't know him, but maybe for me he left social life, or he left civilization, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't say the proper words, but and on the other hand, I think he maybe is giving something to this society.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah.
And your kind of teaching and your kind of not teaching, giving example or living, I don't know how to express. It's a little bit different.
We're all different. Thich Nhat Hanh is a great man.
Yeah.
So he's doing great things in a very humble way. He has a very special way of teaching. It's him. So he's teaching himself. He's showing himself. And that's all we can do. So I tried to show myself.
But there are many they try to show their self. Maybe they try to be something special because many people they do Buddhism want to be some special kind of Buddha or special. They try so much to show their self that they are so super ego. Then they also teach something that is very wrong, I think.
Maybe, yes.
Or it's a very bad example.
Yeah, people want to be famous or they want to be special, but to teach people how to live, you can only be open about how you live. And there are big teachers and small teachers, and powerful teachers and not so powerful teachers. There are all kinds of teachers. We're all teachers. But the most important thing is not to be special, but to be yourself. And this is not only for teaching Buddhism. An artist must be themselves. They express themselves in their work. Or a musician. They have to be honest. And to be honest is to be as you are, not as you want to be. But many people try to be what they want to be. But we can never be what we want to be. We can only be what we are. And what we are is not so great. I'm driving to here to Slovakia and sitting in a little room and trying to explain something not so great. But we must be honest and open. If we are not honest and open, then many difficulties can happen because people want a teacher. They want to find somebody who's perfect. Then they want to say, oh, my great teacher, I want to be like them. And then they imagine their teacher is something, but it's not true. I'm sure Thich Nhat Hanh is a great man, but I'm sure he's a normal human being. So to be honest is important. Not only Buddhist teachers, any kind of teacher. Music teacher. Any kind of teacher. But, I spent 25 years in Japan, so I learned some things, so I can show them to other people, that's all. I don't like to talk about ego and getting rid of the ego, because we all have an ego. strong people, charismatic people have a big ego. Shy people have a big ego inside. It's the same. Everybody has one. Somebody who's very quiet still has a big ego somewhere. So it doesn't matter about ego. It matters to be honest, to be yourself. If you're quiet, it's okay to be quiet. If you're loud, it's okay to be loud. But be honest. Is it okay? What do you think? Shall we talk more?
You asking me or?
I'm asking the space here.
Czy to odkładnie czas? Jaki czas? Brawo.
Okay, let's finish, and then we have to sit again. Thanks very much.
Thank you.